Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to the last day of the Business Skill Lab training under the framework of NISHATI project. It's a pleasure to have you again in a very high number. We are accepting many times every time new participants. Today we have again Studio Santi as a trainer, but a new person, new member of Studio Santi, Jacopo Licheri. Welcome. And I think personally, this is a topic totally new also for me. We will approach the idea of business in a different point of view. So introducing the tools, the software you can use for I suppose, the creation, no, of your idea, of your project, and your idea of business. Looking also at the new technologies, the new software, so the AI, etc. I would like to start this lesson showing you. You are in front of you a short slide. As I mentioned at the beginning of this business skill lab, I said you that in order to receive the teaching notes of all the speakers, the links to the videos of the different lessons, all the 5 lessons, included the ones of today, and the certificate of participation, if you need, we kindly ask you to fill a survey. This is a survey to evaluate your opinion, so to collect your opinion about this learning opportunity, and also because it's mandatory for us being the NISHATI an European project. So we need to provide the European Commission evidence of the impact of our activities. So I kindly invite you to take note of the link. I will share the link to the evaluation form also, copying the link in the chat of this of Zoom. And also, if you have your mobile, if you prefer to fill the form, to fill the survey using your mobile, you can use also the QR code. So please fill the form. We will give you another 5 minutes, an opportunity now to fill the form also during this lesson, giving you 5 minutes, 10 minutes during the break. But really support us giving your contribution and giving us your opinion about the Business Skill Lab. So I don't want to take to more time, and so I would like to give the floor to Jacopo. Jacopo, welcome, and thank you very much for your availability. And I'm sure that your topic will be very interesting for me as first, because these some software, some application are still new, and I need to understand, to discover the opportunities, no, the potentials linked to this software, and for all the participants, many connected to the idea of project and business. So thank you very much. I will stop the sharing of my screen, and I will give you the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Katyusha. Thank you very much. I will share now the presentation, and then I present also myself. 1 second. You see the presentation good, right?
Yes, yes, we can see.
No. Nice to meet you, everybody. I'm Jacopo Licheri. I'm a business development manager for Studio Santi. So I'm basically an energy engineer that tries to invent himself as a business development manager, sales manager. So I'm already kind of stepping out of my comfort zone, like every entrepreneur should do. So you will also step out of your comfort zone anytime that you will try to develop a new company, because you might be expert of something that gives you the initial idea, but then there are so many aspects in the business that you will not be familiar with. You will need help. Normally, we get help from our team members, from our co-founders, from our employees. There is also the possibility to get help from AI. I don't know how many of you have used AI, but this is one of the first things that we'll discover because we have a short survey in the next slide coming. Basically, what is my journey with AI? I want to give you a brief view. It's basically 2.5 years that AI has become mainstream, has become very, very widespread. It started with me listening on the public radio of Switzerland, where I live. This public radio is normally very, very, very boring. It's one of the most boring thing that you can listen, but it gives you the news of the country, so that's why I listened to it. And then they started to discuss AI every single morning. Every single morning. It was beginning of 2024. And then I said, okay, this is interesting. I'm interested, and I want to see more, right? What it is. And then I started to try tools. I started to use them in my daily job or my spare time to also try new things. And if a new idea comes to my mind, I try to test it. I try to research it. I try to see if I can develop it with AI. Now I would say I'm not a very advanced level of user. Because I'm not a programmer. I'm a mechanical engineer, an energy engineer, so I'm not programming anything. But the tools you will see will also help you in programming if that is your interest. And I am maybe a medium level expert because I try to kind of test every news and I try to use it in my daily job. That's what I do normally. So basically, AI is now a huge opportunity, a huge level playing field for you guys to have almost the same tools at your hand that very big companies has, and also to access research or tools or skills that in the old days, if you wanted to start a startup or a company, you would need to pay a lot of money. So this really, if you see it from the entrepreneurial point of view, is a very good support to any entrepreneur. If you are still in university, you're still studying, you're still researching, is also a help there because you can go through a number of papers, a number of let's say document material in much faster time. We'll see a couple of instruments today that will do that. So what I wrote here, the old ways you would have 3 weeks, 2 people reading reports, browsing sites, compiling spreadsheets. Now you have probably 3 days and 1 person with the right tools. This is a different way of doing business, a different proposition that you can bring to your business idea. I put here a bit of the content of today's presentation. So we start defining what is AI, having a look at how AI is widespread. I had a look at the available information in the internet. Sometimes there were not so many. So I encourage you to tell me your daily experience if you have, if you're interested, if you're not interested, if you're afraid of it. We'll check some practical AI tools and how to use them. Then I'll show you one tool that I developed in my spare time, just for fun, because I said I need this, then I can do it. And we close up with a safety note on AI. More or less, this is gonna last 1.5 hours. So I thank you for your attention, and let's start. First survey. Tell me, have you used AI in the last 7 days? You can answer it to the poll with the QR code, but you can also tell me in the chat which tool have you used it and for what. I give you 1 minute to answer, please. Okay, I see that also from the answer in the chat, most of you said yes every day. Somebody saying they are using ChatGPT for language check and tips for systematic review. Somebody use DeepSeek. Okay, I think many answers were on day one of those that answer it. Somebody said I use 50% every day by AI. Okay, interesting, and this is something that we'll find also in our now next slides, because I made a survey of usage of in your countries, and that's also what I was looking at. So part one of the lesson will start to define what is AI, what it does. It's something that changes every day. You know, every week at least some new tool that gets published, or an update of the tool that does dramatically enhanced things. So you can do more and more by the day, and probably if you haven't looked at AI in the last 3 months, 4 months, you will see that it's completely different now. Because in February and in April, there's been a quantic jump with some models. Normally one model starts, and then all the others, in a couple of weeks, they follow and copy all these features. Some models are also not being published because they were too powerful. So imagine some models are not being published because they were too powerful. They could break the security systems of the informatic system of the banks, the financial sector. So that's why we're restrained from the general public. Let's go one step further. Basically, what is AI? AI is a computer system that perform tasks that are normally associated with human intelligence: understanding language, recognizing patterns, making prediction, generating content. The key word is task. Okay, AI is a collection of task solvers, not one thinking machine. Okay, so intelligence in that sense is misleading. Okay, so is not a real person, is not really talking to you and giving you real advice. For that, you still have to rely on people. But if you want to do something fast, from filling a survey to filling a form to creating a business plan to creating an Excel file to create a presentation, anything that can be done in the office normally, it is something that can be done. It needs your direction, it needs your thinking, it needs your skills in certain way. I will tell you why. But it dramatically accelerates the speed to which you can achieve the goal that you want. Okay. Now, AI does most of the apps, most of the software that we have, they do one thing very well. And this is why we'll name a few in this lesson, because depending on your field, depending on what you need to do, you might not need one tool but another. And you will be better served to use a certain tool to do a certain thing and another tool to do other things. I'm, for example, very experienced with tools that generate Word document, Excel document, PowerPoint, because that's what I do during my daily job. I don't do anything creative, so I don't do social media, I don't do marketing, I don't do videos. I do images only with my daughter, so we generate images of unicorns and horses. But apart from that, I'm not very good in that. So I will explain you what I can do. I'll explain you there are some software that I know about other fields. You can ask me if you have any question in the chat about a particular field. I may know it already, otherwise I will tell you later. But obviously, I explain to you better what I use daily. Certain things, as I said, were done very well by one tool in particular, or by several tools that compete with each other. Now, the general AI, or what is called AGI, will come. Some say in a few months, some say in a couple of years, but still, it will come. Let's see if it will be manageable enough that can be released to the public. This is not 100% sure. As I was saying, already now some systems were not released. Some systems are used only by governments or by their military departments. So let's see how the future will play out. The story started with the release of Chat GPT that everybody knows. I think was also mentioned by somebody you in the chat in the end of 2022. And it was such a huge success that in 2 months reached 100 million users. Okay, so that was the beginning of the exploration of the opening of AI tools to the public. Now, what does one of those LLMs, chatbots, do? You know, how they are trained. They are trained with everything that was possible to be found, okay, in the web, and also with paper books. So there was one company that was buying old books, and they were basically scanning the old books of any type, of any fiction and any genre that you can imagine, to feed their model, train their model. And at the end, the large language model, what do? They do a statistical prediction of what words comes after the previous one. Okay? It seems that they know everything. In reality, they just know whatever has been charged is loaded to them, and whatever is most statistically probable that will be said or be written next. Okay, so if you ask, for example, What is the most important thing to see in London? Name 3, 5 things. Since everybody, millions of people in the world go every year to London, there is a lot of statistical data, a lot of data. So you most probably will get a very good selection of the 5 most important things to see in London. But if you ask it about the same thing, about the 5 things to do or to see in a location that is not so popular and not so well covered by the media and by the web, then it might well be that you don't find any plausible result. The real problem of some large language model, especially if we don't use it carefully, is that they tend to invent. Okay, so if they don't find nice things to do in a certain place because they don't have enough information, they just make it up. And this is why we always need to check what is being written. So the effort is still there to produce documents, to produce information, content. It moves from the initial phase where you would used to do a lot of research, reading books, reading websites, etc., by yourself, to a work where the first draft is done maybe very quickly, but then it needs to be checked and improved with a bit of time. It's never the case that the first draft is good enough. It's never the case that the first draft is completely correct. So you have to iterate and improve on this, and also check, because sometimes you can make a test with something that you are very familiar with. Sometimes they do hallucinate. So what I was saying is the AI is very helpful if you are between maybe 30 to 80, 90% knowledge of subject, okay? Because if you know 0, you don't know how to check which question to ask in order to verify what is being written by AI. If you know 100%, obviously you don't need AI. So if you are the best expert in the world about, I don't know, open heart surgery, you don't need AI. But if you're a student at 30%, 40%, 50% of their know-how, because you have done university, you have done several exams, etc., and you want to accelerate your learning, that is probably a good point to start using AI. As entrepreneurs, if we see the problem from entrepreneurs, there are certain things that can be done very well by AI. For example, financial model. I can ask AI to create a business plan and a financial model for any business idea that I have. Whether all the initial hypotheses are correct or not, this is something that you need to spend time on and check. Okay, the links between the formulas will be correct, most probably. This is something that you don't need to worry, but you need to be very careful in which inputs you give to the model. This is better you give instead of asking the AI. Tools, language. Language is is a whole new jargon that has been popped up with the division of the rise of AI. So many of you maybe know LLM, large language model, is basically the foundational model that then can do many things. The most famous is ChatGPT. I like a lot to work with Claude. Google has done Gemini. There are several others. DeepSeek, that somebody of you mentioned, it is one of the Chinese alternatives. So there are several models competing with there. Okay. Prompt is basically your instruction or question to the AI. We'll see the more detailed question you give, the better. So it can also there be an iterative job, okay? Because mostly probably in the beginning, you have an idea, you want to check it, and you want to check it quickly. So you don't spend too much time on the first question that you give. But then it pays off to improve on the question, to detail better, and to run the research or the task that you asked for a second or third time. And the more you know, the more you can add details. You can specify in which direction to go. And the more important, precise, the relevant, especially relevant, the answer will be. Okay. Now, next to the prompt, there is the importance of context. Context is now more and more important because you need to explain to AI basically what we are, what your background is, what your company background is, what your company voice in a way is, in order to be sure that the AI replies with the same voice, with the same information, in the right way. So normally now the AI is becoming more and more agentic. There's another word. So it doesn't need so much hand-holding or step-by-step questioning as it was maybe 1 year ago. Now it needs more context in order to understand how to arrive to the goal, because the agentic AI, that is the new type of AI that is popped up in the last 3-4 months, it can very well do steps by themselves without asking to arrive to a certain goal. So you define the goal, you say, I want to develop this and that, and there will be steps done by the AI independently. Okay. Before, instead, you would have to guide it step by step. Hallucination, we discussed. AI sometimes invent the information. The two models I use the most, I use them exactly because I don't want the model to hallucinate. I work as an engineer. I work with real data, with real problems. So I'm not writing science fiction novels, and I need to be based exactly on the data that I give or on data that are not invented. Okay. If you want to write a sci-fi novel, then there is other tools. Agent we discussed. Generative. Generative is basically either create content, text, images, audio, code. Multimodal is an AI that can take more than one type of input. So basically, you can feed papers, websites, videos, podcast, whatever kind of input to the same AI, to the same brain, and it can, let's say, work on that. It can accept all this kind of input. In the beginning, it was mostly text input. Some other were more trained on video. Some other were more geared to use other inputs. I left out two things. One is token. That is basically the kind of currency of AI. So you have a certain large context window, so you can load more documents to AI, and the AI can give you a longer answer depending on the amount of token that the model can work on, and obviously depending how much you pay for the model, because the more you pay, the more token, let's say, access you have. The API, normally you pay. How do you pay for the AI? You pay with a normal subscription, monthly subscription. No, there are different levels. Normally 3 levels plus the 4, the free level. This is for, let me say, the ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, etc. If you start to work on the code, if you start to work with a tool that you have developed and that use the large language model as an engine inside to function, to take an input and give you an output, Then you start to use an API. API is basically a way to connect the systems without passing and to pay for the system, for the brain usage, without passing through the normal abonnement that you have. Okay, is double-edged sword in the sense that if you do a tool that calls the brain in a sparing way, you may spend few cents, for every time that you need the brain to analyze data or to do something. If you lose control of that, then you can spend thousands of dollars or euros or whatever currency. So API are normally a way to save, but it can be a way also to spend a lot of money, unfortunately. Summarizing a bit, what is AI good at? Summarize long documents or many documents, drafting an email or a document in a certain tone. Maybe you want to draft a post, or you want to draft an email for business, you want to draft a joke. You can do this. Jokes, I think they can be improved. But for formal and let's say normal styles, let's say colloquial style, the AI is good. Translating between major languages, there are certain AIs that are very structured. They are being built to translate, so they are very good in it. We'll also do some examples later. Sometimes the AI is not good at doing exact arithmetic. It was not good. It's becoming increasingly good, but it was not good. It probably is not yet good enough in analyzing some images. So if you want to have a technical drawing analyzed by AI, sometimes it works, sometimes not. So it's still not yet there. Whatever is true today might be wrong in 2 months. Remember, this progress very, very fast. But I'm telling you what is the reality today. Now, you still have to verify the facts because sometimes, as I said, some AIs in particular, they invent a bit more than others. And hallucinate and tend to please the user, tend to give him anyway an answer even when there is no answer, and it would be more honest as a person to say, no, I don't know, sorry, this part I don't know, I cannot state it, I cannot judge, I don't have enough knowledge. But sometimes the AI doesn't behave like in this kind of human way, And obviously, replace judgment. This the never can do. So the AI is a tool that you can use to go wherever you want to go to achieve your goal. But you are responsible for what you are doing, and you have to steer it in the best way. Now, you told me already about your usage. I was not because data that I found from last year. Last year is like Stone Age. 1 year in AI is like Stone Age, right? But still, last year it was apparent that your countries have a lot of usage of AI. Obviously, for the people that are online. People that are online and are mostly people that use the mobile, like in Tanzania, 99% of the internet access is mobile, growing penetration of smartphones, growing coverage of 5G that obviously can carry more data. The same is true for Rwanda, and so basically you are already there, and you are leading even in some indicators. This is last year still, but Kenya was highest country in the world to use ChatGPT, and way higher, double than the United States. This is surprising, right? And way higher than Japan. East Africa is leading in this AI environment, so I'm very, very interested to know what else you are doing. Okay, this is something that you can write me in the chat. How do you use it? Your peers in other institutions, other universities, were using a lot of AI. Was research done at the Makerere School, Business School, for which drivers of AI adoption were there, performance, the habit, and the social influence. So you see other people that use it, and you start to use it as well. Also, universities in Rwanda, they had a smaller sample of people, but basically they were saying students and academic staff were using AI like a normal academic tool already last year. There was no data that I could find in Tanzania, so I'm sorry for that. Maybe if you want to share your experience, colleagues from Tanzania, I would be very happy in the chat. And what is being done with AI in Africa? I've seen several apps that were geared towards helping farming sector, the agricultural sector. So virtual agronomist on WhatsApp. In Kenya and Uganda, they use to support the farmers for rice and maize to tailor their nutrients, plants, the pest fighting, and the harvest timing. Same thing happened in Kenya for potatoes. There is another AI tool that basically help farmers in understanding which disease the plant has based on the photo. And then there are some universities in Kigali that are translating the models, training the models to work in Swahili. So you can work more in your languages. No need to use other languages. Now, based on your experience, and I don't know from all the sectors you are coming from and your business idea, which sector will be most transformed by AI? And please write me in the chat what real experience, real business experience you are having with AI that is supported by AI. 1 minute, please. Okay, I see that many people answered education. Also in the chat. In the chat, somebody said the IT, education, the health sector, agriculture. Yeah, more or less with the same percentage. Is there any, how do you apply AI to education? What is your experience? Is there anyone that want to unmute themselves and tell us?
Okay, can I be the one, please?
The question. So
Um,
I see that many people see AI. How are you already using it in to support your education, to support the teaching, or to support learning? What is your experience?
yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I thank for this session, and in my opinion, I see that in education, AI is very important and is very transformative because AI is going in our daily life. It helps in our research as students as well. It helps us to develop our knowledge. It helps us to find other alternatives of finding solutions, which means that in education, we really need this AI because it is very essential. It is a tool which is very essential to make researches mainly, and also it helps learners and or students, of course, to try being familiar with technology. Yeah, thank you very much. That's my opinion. And I think that in education, we have to focus also on how we can use this AI in education, but in positive manner, because we have seen that most of the students, they are using this AI the most more than they use their own mind, which means this AI is not supposed to disturb our own thinking. We have to use it as an extra, but also try to make and find uh, the answers. For instance, because we know that when a lecturer give questions or assignments to students, sometimes they use to use AI, which is not good. Let's use this AI just to find our own way, but we don't have to let AI decide for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivier. Thank you for your experience and your take. I you to use the brain first. I think Angel, yes, you want to speak? Please, you're gonna mute yourself. Angel?
Okay, thank you. To me, I support how the AI will transform most of the agriculture sector. I'm Angel. I knew members from Kabale University. This AI in the coming years or in the future, it will help farmers adapt to climate change. For example, farmers will be using AI to recommend drought-resistant crops and maybe some efficient farming methods. Also, farmers will use AI to monitor animal health, the feeding movement, and maybe to improve the productivity and also reduce the disease outbreaks on their farms. And to the farmers, they may also use these AI tools to test soil fertility. For example, like farmers will use AI tools to assess soil fertility and then recommend the suitable crops or nutrients that maybe are lacking in the soil, or maybe the suitable crops to grow in different types of soils. That's how I think AI will transform most the agriculture sector.
Okay, thank you, Angel. There is Lamco. Sorry for the pronunciation. In education, AI assists personalized learning means no need of looking for teacher, automated teacher support, enhancing learning into details, automated tutors. Yes. There is one tool I will show you later that it helps with learning a new subject. And it's quite well developed for that. There are other tools, probably I haven't mentioned in the presentation, but I will give you links after the chat that help to analysis of scientific papers, research and analysis of scientific papers, so that you can do the most and learn the most in the best way. Now, this is, I would say, the midpoint of our presentation. So I would suggest to make a break for 10 minutes. And so we reconnect at, let's say, 4 my time, in, let's say, 7 minutes. And maybe, Katyusha, you want to show again the link to the form?
Kat left us for a few minutes. Let me do it on her behalf.
Okay.
1 second.
You have it? Okay.
Yeah, let me just get it.
Thank you, Benedetta.
Mhm. Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Still 3 minutes to fill in the form, please. Hi, James. We are restarting now. We are just making a pause. You can click the evaluation form in case you didn't do it before. There's the link in the chat and there is the QR code. We are restarting in half a minute. Okay, let's restart. And those of you that didn't have the time to share the form, to fill the form yet, will have another opportunity to do so at the end. I will now come back to the presentation. There was another message while we were waiting. Okay, Benedetta, if you can reshare the evaluation form on the chat, please, because seems somebody had some network issues.
It's in the chat. Let me.
Yeah, maybe you can copy it again. So it's one of the last messages. There was another colleague saying the most transformed sector, I believe, will be the healthcare sector, because we are seeing AI being used by the world superpowers like China to aid and plan operation and being able to access and assess and monitor patient vitals, recommend how best to treat patients based on the symptoms present. Yeah, that's a good one and good use of AI. Somebody has been logged out. Isaac, I hope you were able to solve the issue. If not, please write again. Okay, so in this session, we are going to use some tools. We are going to look at some tools used for AI, practical tools, and how to use them in the best way. We give examples. So we said that we tell AI what to do using a command that is called prompt. Normally, the prompt needs to have several parts to be right. It needs to tell AI how they should behave, who they are. So they are a doctor, they are a farmer, or an expert in agronomy, an expert in medicine, an expert in sales, in marketing, and anything that you need help with. Try to describe the task precisely, what they need to do, which inputs they need to use, which output they need to produce, and how the output should look like. And give them also some background on who are you, for whom the output is. So if it is for a class of primary school, or if it is for a university, or if it is for a board of a bank that needs to approve your business loan, or if it is for the general public that needs to understand what your company does and buy your product or your service. So describe all this in the best way. As I said, probably the first time it will not be right. You will have to do it 2-3 times. So iterate. Basically, you refine the prompt, you add the details to the prompt, and you generate again the answer. Try to do so. So work on the prompt rather than adding a prompt or adding a new information or adding a new piece of data, because in this way you minimize the use of tokens. So especially if you want to use, if you need to use AI on a budget, that is the best way. Okay. Also give them some constraints, what kind of word they use, they cannot use, the language they need to use in terms not only of English or Swahili or French or Spanish, but also kind of tone like academic, business-minded, or for a general audience, for an audience that is informed, for an audience that is not informed or scared or whatever. Obviously, vague, not too defined prompt will not give you a very good answer. Will give you a result that is too generic, that is sometimes clearly written by AI. So you will have to iterate on this, right? For example, you could say you are a senior engineer, you do, and in this case, client update on the project authorization, on the permitting. You need to describe it technical, so you have to use some words and some language as detailed as you are used to do. And maybe you want to say you have to use a bullet point list, and you have to this in 1 minute from the client. Okay. Sorry, I'm allowing more colleagues to enter. So I'm not sure if I click. Second. Okay, no, was okay. Let me share again. So which tools to use? In this case, let's make the example of the research. Most LLMs are geared to do research, are geared to do deep research, as it's called, if you allow them. So there is a specific field to be clicked or slide to be used. If you want to do deep research, that means that they check hundreds of results of source before giving you a report that is normally quite well detailed. There is one tool that is called Perplexity that is built exactly for research. So that is the first one to research at all I'm not so familiar with. Normally what I do, I also check things with other, especially if it is an important thing and not so in a rush. I like to have 2 or 3 LLMs do the research. They will find normally different data, different sources, and then I compare the answers. So another tool that I use a lot, and it's Google-based, so it's also good in doing research, is Gemini. Also there you have to allow the deep research, let's say, option to be clicked. Any other tool like ChatGPT and Claude can also do deep research. I normally use Claude to do that, and I do compare 3 of them. There is another tool that you can use when you already have the data. So let's imagine that you already know that you want to check a number of academic articles or any other sources, and you want the answer only to be based on these sources. You don't want the LLM to check what is in their background, what is in their training. You want to use only those tools, only those input data that you have already searched, you already have available. So that tool is also part of Gemini, of Google set of tools, and it's called Notebook LM. It is normally the best when you do a closed research. Now they also allowed it to search for sources. Before it was not possible. But still, I would tend to use that if I know that I want it to only look at the sources that I have already selected. So you could, for example, use Perplexity to have a long list of, I don't know, 600 sources. Then maybe you select the ones you want to read in more detail. You download them, you download 30 PDF, 40 PDF. I think it has a window of 200 documents maximum, 300 documents maximum. Depends on also maybe how much you pay. Sorry, this is based on my account of $20 per month. Maybe for the free account is a bit less, but still, you can check only the documents that you want. So you are sure that there are no hallucinations, that the answer is based on the grounded source. The other good advantage as a student, as a researcher of Notebook LM is that the output is not only text. So sure, you can type your prompt, you can get a report, you can get an answer, you can ask follow-on questions, etc. But you can generate infographics, you can generate PowerPoints, you can generate podcasts. That's the original feature that they had that was different than anybody else. So you have an automatically generated podcast that you can listen to that summarize the topic, the subject that you are researching, with two speakers. One makes the questions, let's say, and one gives the answers. And there is also some options how to tweak this speech, this conversation that they have. This is also something that you can use to learn faster, or at least to grab the most important things about a subject that you are not familiar with in 10, 15 minutes, because the podcast is maximum 10, 15 minutes. It will take some time to generate, maybe another 20 minutes, but let's say in half an hour, you have already a good base, a good initial understanding of the topic, and then you can go deeper, obviously, like you have to. There are other tools that are specifically for papers. So, for example, one is Elicit. It's only for papers, it's only for academic research. I can write it later on the chat. As this one that I mentioned, there are many others, right? You can use AI, one of those four that are generalist AI, one of these three, let's say, because Notebook LM only works with the sources that you give them, to search for tools more focused on the sector that you are. Okay, so I want a tool that is only for research. You will find you the tool for research. You want a tool that does video. Then you ask Perplexity, for example, which video creation or video editing or any other or creative work tools are there. Okay, and then you go analyze them, choose the one, try to understand pro and cons. As I said, tools are sometimes very specific. So there is a tool that do one thing very well. They try to extend their coverage, but normally they remain very good in one thing, you know. So it might be that sometimes to do, I don't know, video editing, you need to use 3 or 4 tools in a row. Today I was discussing with a colleague, she does rendering, 3D rendering of buildings, of plants, and she told me sometimes I can do that with Gemini, Nano Banana to generate the image. Sometimes it doesn't work. I need to use 3-4 tools in a row that are more professional tools, more let's say you need to be well-trained engineer to use them in order to create the results that you want. We said general purpose tool, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. You can do anything from emails, reports, proposals. I do a lot of proposals. They're normally quite okay with each other. They are. I like Claude in particular. I think is the most grounded in the data that I give him without being notebook LM, let's say. For business work, I think is the one I use the most by far. But the others are also okay. Then there are specific tools, for example, to write or translate. So DeepL is a German-based software that started with translation of PDF and other documents, and is still one of the best. So I used to use it a lot. Now I use it a bit less because the general tools are becoming better and better in that. But still, sometimes when I need to translate a PDF from English to Italian or the other way around, without losing the formatting, having a very good, let's say, translation, I will use DeepL. Sometimes it also helps me in writing. So, for example, I live in Switzerland, in Germany, the German-speaking part of Switzerland. So sometimes I know how to write basic things in German to communicate with people, but they polish my language. So it helps me avoiding grammatical mistakes and adding more precise word maybe to what I could come up with. You know, my German level is B1, so it's not very high. You can do it also in Italian, that is my mother tongue, in English, that I use for business since 12 years. I still need to learn a lot. And sometimes I find it useful to refine my language, especially if it's a very important text or presentation or document that I need to create. Grammarly is also another tool. It basically works as a corrector into Word or into any other word processor tool. Also there is embedded in the app, in the Word app, etc., and then it improves the text line by line. So what you can do is to have a first draft with the general tools and then improve the result with specialized tools. So this is what normally is my workflow. Another thing that I do, and you will do probably as a business owner, you have to present. You have to present your business idea to clients, partners, suppliers, banks, any kind of stakeholder that you will have. Some tools now, for example, Claude does presentations. It does it in a graphically not super exciting way, but it does it well. For this presentation, I didn't need to invent the graphic because the graphic was already imposed by the NISHATI framework template. So I could concentrate only on the text, and the text was done with Claude. If I need to invent also the graphic element, I would use Gamma, that I was using a lot last year to do brochures, to do presentations, to pass from one format to another. So I do a presentation, but then I need a brochure, or I need a web page, a single landing page for my business idea. Gamma is able to do that. Canva is another tool used a lot for creative work, images, infographics, etc. I'm not too much into creative work, so I know that exists. I haven't used it too much. Napkin is nice. It does diagrams and infographics. So being a technical person, I like it because it can explain difficult concept to persons that have not the same level of technical understanding in the subject you are talking to. So in my subject is energy engineering, but other you can discuss about other subjects as well. You put inside the napkin your word that you want to illustrate. So you have created already the text, select a paragraph and say, create an infographic that explains this paragraph. And you can choose different let's say ways, different graphics, different graphic way to express the same idea. You can test it. You can say, okay, this I like, this I don't like. I change it, then change the colors, change the font, etc., etc. But you can, let's say, get a help to become more clear to persons that are not the same level of understanding on certain field as you have. What else? Analysis of data. Analysis of data, you can do it with the general LLM in the chat. Now, what I use a lot is Claude. Claude has released a plugin for Excel. So if you have a Claude account, you add the plugin to your Excel, and you'll basically log in to your Claude account, and you can analyze the data, fill in the data, change the format, do a graph, or do whatever you want, or even create an Excel from scratch. So if you want to create a financial model, you say, okay, never done a financial model, Claude will help you. There are more specific tools. There are also Copilot tools in Excel, in Microsoft. Normally, Copilot is not super good, but is becoming better because it has made an agreement with Claude, so it will work with Claude Brain underneath. Obviously, there are more, let's say, advanced tools for coding and for analysis of the graphs with code tools. I don't use that, and I think unless you are really in IT or very deep into statistics, you will not need it. Many things can be done with the normal general LLMs. Then there is a new thing that I want to show you also how it has been applied later. That is, anybody can build an app. Because now basically you can give a natural language command to an LLM, and they will generate the code in any language. Normally it's Python, but in any language that you need. It will even suggest you which language is the best for whatever you want to do. So I mentioned some here. Lovable is quite famous. Cursor is from Cursor is also quite famous. Then there are the Claude Code, the ChatGPT, Codex. Every LLM has his own version of that. Basically, I never used a very specific thing. Yeah, I use a lot Claude, but I don't use Claude Code. I use Claude normally, and it does apps, not only web pages, but apps. So I want, for example, to do one thing. I'll show you later. In my weekend, in my spare time, I do create a tool specific for it. Now, what is the future of agent? Now we'll get back to coding and vibe coding later. What is the future of LLMs from being a chatbot? One question, one answer. You drive a lot the conversation. To being agentic. We discussed this already in the previous moment, in the previous session. Basically, you give it a goal. It will plan how many steps it needs to execute in order to achieve the goal. Sometimes it will ask you clarification questions. Actually, you need to ask it to remember to ask you clarification questions, because sometimes the initial goal can be achieved in different ways. And it will execute a number of steps, 10, 15, 20, I don't know, depending on how much is needed to do the steps, to achieve the goal. Okay. Now, this is something that I am still exploring, to be honest with you. I've done an agent for contacting people on LinkedIn. So you still get some manual input from myself in the sense that I filter out the people I want to contact, say people in the energy sector in East Africa. You will load, download the list of the people. You will analyze what this person does, his role, his company, his latest posts on LinkedIn. So whatever is, discussing, whatever is his last achievements, his last questions, last comments, etc. And then I will draft an email, a LinkedIn message to contact this person saying, "Hi, I'm Jacopo. I'm doing this, or I like that you have done this. How we can cooperate, etc., etc." So we start a discussion by itself, and not only start a discussion by sending the first message, but it checks if a reply has been given. It has been given the reply. It will have a second message to send, or a third message to send. If it also there not received first reply, it will send a second message to kind of reactivate the contact. Okay, so this is a relatively simple thing that basically works by itself. I built it once. I'm not looking at it since 3-4 weeks for sure. Now I have to remember to say, okay, I contacted enough people in East Africa. I probably finished them. I contacted them all. I got some mixed replies. Now let's go to West Africa, for example. No, so I need to still launch it or to do whatever task I asked him to do, but afterwards it does by itself. Also, there are agents. Every large language model company is developing these agents. ChatGPT, Copilot, Manus, Claude, etc. For example, 2 days ago, I haven't yet tried because I'm traveling, so I didn't have any time to test it. Claude launched a small medium business agent system. So basically, you use this system and it checks if it needs to send your invoice, it does your marketing, it does everything that is needed to a small, medium business to function. It's astonishing. I cannot wait to try it, but as soon as I have time. Now I am becoming the bottleneck. So, ideas for next week. What do you want to do in the next week? I put here some brainstorming ideas, research, send emails to your contacts or to your potential customers, work on a research, extract documents from information from documents and save them into a spreadsheet, do whatever you want. Tell me in the chat if this is something that you are interested in and what you plan to use it for in the next week. Sorry, probably did something wrong here. Dennis, for sure, you will be getting this from Katyusha at the end of the webinar. Is anybody that wants to share their ideas on the chat, please, about what you like to do?
Probably what I can update is that it has been mentioned right from the first day we had the training that the material used for the training will be shared with all participants who have attended all the training. Because I see this question coming again and again in the chat, people asking for the slides. The slides since the training on Monday when Benedetta started, when yesterday we had Flavio, all of those will be shared with the emails that you used to register for the training. So people should not get worried by asking for the slides right now. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for reminding everybody.
Yes, sure. Don't worry about all the materials because I will provide you the materials within 1 week. Give me the time to draft and to prepare the certificate. But in any case, I will try to ask Jacopo which is the best instruments to create automatically the certificate of participation starting from a list of name. Probably it exists because so the artificial
It does
intelligence,
exist.
but yes, makes so
Yes.
more difficult and most difficult things then. But don't worry, the invitation is the same. Fill the evaluation form. In the evaluation form, we ask you for your email address. Take care to type the email address correctly because I will use this email address to send you all the material. If within 1 week, no before, please don't send me many email every day asking for the material. If after 1 week we will not receive this material, in that case, please contact me. But so be patient for 1 week at least, okay? So I don't know, Jacopo, if we at the end we will show you again the link QR code to fill the form. At the moment, just an update, Jacopo. Sorry if I stopped you. I have so 53 people participated in the form, participated in the survey. So thank you again. All these 53 people will receive the teaching material videos and certificate of participation, but give me 1 week to prepare all them.
And there are 69, there were 71 people at the moment, so somebody's still missing. So you will have time to fill in this in the next yet. I still have a couple of chapters in this presentation. I was just asking if there is anyone that have practical use. Okay, John is telling me research and project development. Okay, that's very nice. Very nice, John. You need any help? So find my.
May you repeat your questions, Jacopo?
The question is, what will be the next practical use of AI that you plan to do next week? Meantime, I go forward. While you write in the chat, we can discuss what's the next small break. So you can use agents. Sometimes it's good when you need to do multi-step tasks across also multiple tools. You will learn how to connect this. You will use the agents many times when you want to do something very boring. Okay, so categorize your emails into folders, fill in forms, do something that is very repetitive and normally very boring. In the chat, you do something a bit more creative, like brainstorming, explaining, seeing the view from one side and another. This is also another aspect that AI can help you with, and kind of an answer to the Professor Olivier that was commenting before. To use AI only to draft the answer to the task that has been given by the professor is in one way. But the other way, more productive maybe of using AI is to use it to list pros and cons or view from one side and from the other side of the same subject or the same argument, you know. So it's like I am undecided. I don't know what to think. No, let's use a political argument or any ethical argument or any, let's say, thing that is let you think and say it could be this way, it could be that way. What are the, let's say, the reasons to do one thing and what are the reasons to do the contrary approach? Maybe we naturally tend to think in one way. The AI could help us to say, okay, how do the people that see this differently than me actually see it? What are the pros and cons that they see? What are the advantages that they see? You know, so I can try to get a bit out of myself and see the reality from another people, from another point of view. This is also something that you can do. Also, when you have high stakes things, don't do an agent that send emails to your clients about contractual things or to your suppliers to make orders and buy things. This you still do manually. This you still help, maybe drafting the email, checking the contract. All these things can be helped by AI, but you have to put it together. You are the one that put all together and check, yes, everything is coherent, everything can go forward, can go out to the external of your company. Okay. Where this is going, agents, development of agents, multi-agents that work with each other. Also there, it costs a bit of money, so depends. If you are a student, most probably will not be using that as a first step. Browsers that can basically browse the web and make selection, even purchases by themselves. Languages that get added into the large language model. Products and apps. This is what we built ourselves. That we see a need, we see some use, and we see, okay, let's do it. Okay. So how could this work? I have an idea. Normally, I have even my apps on my phone. So I'm walking. Sometimes when I walk, my ideas flow better. Then I write something on the code, for example, and I ask first question, first let's say brainstorming verification. Then I can search data. I can search data with Perplexity. I can summarize it with Notebook, LM, etc. I can then take this and say, okay, let's draft a business plan. Let's draft a marketing copy. Let's draft a brochure. Okay. And then I can do a presentation. I can do any other graphical thing, for example, with Gamma. This is an example of a workflow from the first idea to a brochure, marketing, a website, anything that presents this idea to the world that can be done in half a day. It doesn't need days. It doesn't need many people. Obviously, if it is a small thing, you can do it all by yourself. If it is something that you need help from other colleagues, because you might see the technical aspect, somebody else can see the marketing aspect, somebody else can see the social aspect, etc. And you have to put more of you together, but still the tools can help you do a better job and fast. This tool all costs money. Normally they have a free tier. You can do up to a certain point with the free tier. There is a second tier that is $20 roundabout for each of these tools. Also there you can do a bit more. You have more functions, you can have more token windows we discussed, so you can load more documents, you can get a longer answer, etc., etc. The more you pay, obviously, the more you have access to this, let me say, brain. Many things can be done for free. So search also in Perplexity, for example, how I can do this. It will give you some paid options, but many times give you options that have a free tier that is large enough for a startup. For example, I am using a tool to send emails to people, and there is a free tier of 3,000 people. Okay, so 3,000 emails. As a startup, I don't send it in 1 month. I don't need it. So I can do a lot of work and test really the idea, the market, etc., before having to pay something. Obviously, you need to do some research and maybe use 2-3 different tools. Now, I want to show you something that I built in 3 weekends. Okay, it's a tool that I had the need of just for myself. I wanted to summarize YouTube videos, because now there are millions of people, hundreds of people, let's say, or thousands of people that do very interesting YouTube videos about new technologies that are being released with AI, but only simply we live in very turbulent times geopolitically. So I want to know why this war happened, or what will be the let me say the effect, the rip-off effect of what is happening right now. I want to check different opinions. For example, geopolitics is one of my personal interests. I don't work in geopolitics, so I created a tool. I hear myself twice. I don't know if somebody needs to mute themselves. Now I am gonna share with you this. Let me go back to this. Yeah. So I created this tool, and I hope you can see it. It's basically a web page. It's a landing page that is called DistillTube. Okay, DistillTube started to summarize long videos. Now I added also articles, because I also receive a lot of nice newsletters from people that I would like to use. But in reality, I don't have any time to read. I don't. I mean, I'm already doing a lot of work, and I don't have time. So I said, okay, I can use this tool to summarize everything into an audio that I can listen in 10 minutes instead of listening for 3 hours of a video. Unless it's a comedian that I want to hear, okay, fine. Then I listen everything of it. But it is geopolitical analysis. Maybe I can summarize the key points in 10 minutes, and it still is good enough for me to know what's going on in the world. So it's it paste any link from YouTube, or from Substack, Medium, LinkedIn, any article, long form article. It checks the transcript, it checks the text, and then it summarizes it for you in both text form and video and the audio. It is in 17 languages. There are no too many African languages there, so you can suggest me which one would be nice to have, please. You can also save it on iPhone as a link, as an app. Basically, you get a free tier. You don't need to worry about the money now, and you can log in with Google, so it's very easy. I will now summarize it. Let's see if he remembers my password. Otherwise, I just log in with Google. No, let's log in with Google. I want to show you how it works. Now the landing page is it's easy, but the code underneath is what took me actually three weeks to build. Give me 1 second. I want to demonstrate this how to do. For some reason, my internet connection is not what it should be. Okay, now it's coming. So here you will see this second version that I have. I haven't used too much. You can see the tools, the videos that I've seen already. Now I wanted to show you how it works. This is a video with one expert, Scott Galloway, that says artificial intelligence will not steal your job if you have this competence. So exactly what fear many people have, right, about artificial intelligence. I paste here the YouTube link. It says YouTube video detected. Please go. I could choose different styles of summarization, but you will see later if you want. How you can choose it? You see it's processing. You will see in 2 hours 39 minutes video. I will never have the time to listen to it, to be honest, but I'm interested. So I would like to know what it's saying, right? So I wait 1 or 2 minutes. Claude underneath is doing his process, and it's ready. Now it generates a sum up. It can be in narrative, it can be in bullet point. Mind map doesn't work still very well, so, and it can be in audio. And this audio is, it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes video that summarize a 2.5 hours thing. So now let's come back to the presentation. Why I wanted to show you this. I want to encourage you, if you are into it, in building these tools, because you might have the identification of a need of the market, of your particular market, and say it would be very nice if something would exist that would do this, right? And in this moment, in this historical moment, it's never been so much easier than now to do whatever you think is needed. You have an idea, you can disrupt the market with your idea. With tools, obviously this one I used a paid account of Claude to do it. So you have to have an API underneath, so it costs a bit of money, but it doesn't cost a lot of time. I did it really in the weekend, and it's a simple thing. There can be much more complicated thing can be built. So my idea is, you as entrepreneurs, you may start like I did in this case, from your personal need, saying, it would really be nice if I have something that saved my time in this way, or help me in any other way. Maybe you hit the jackpot, you spot a need that other people would be willing to pay for it, and you start from there. Okay. Now, building the tools, it's easy if you have the access to the LLMs. What is a new skill that is very difficult, that is more difficult, is the marketing. Okay, so this is something that I, for example, need to learn. I don't know anything about marketing, especially marketing of apps, marketing of digital tools. I always work on the energy side. I know how to sell engineering services. I know how to sell plants maybe, but not marketing apps. So is this something that you always learn? You always have something new to learn. And with AI, it's a bit easier than venture in different things. I would never have done any tool that needed programming in before AI. Okay. So later, if you want, I can share the screen, the link to the tool. If you want to try it, test it, give me feedback. There is a feedback button inside. You will send me a WhatsApp message directly. So I read all of them and I act on it very quickly. Now, last part of our discussion, safety. This is the most important part of our discussion, actually. Consider that normally AI free tools, they do use your data to train the model. Okay, so don't share personal data. Don't share your personal IDs, password, credit card numbers, API numbers, medical data, etc., etc. Don't share even data of your customers. So if you need to do a presentation for customer X, maybe you change the name, maybe you change the situation, and then by hand you change it to the real one at the end. So there is then the other aspect of data where they reside, mostly in the US. There is a market for people that want to develop servers and a service, IT service that stays in the country. Okay, so for example, in Switzerland, there is a browser and an application provider that says our data stays, your data, the clients, stays in Switzerland. Okay, this is another business idea, for example. Try to anonymize, this is it. If you are not in doubt, do not share it. Okay. This we said already in the beginning. AI unfortunately tend to please you as the user because they want you to be continuing using it. Okay, so the large language model, unless you really set it up to be critical, to be finding the flaws in your reasoning, finding the problems in your ideas, etc., they do invent things and they do paint a rosier picture that it is. Okay, so do check citations to papers, unless you use notebook LM that is done exactly in that purpose, only with the data that you use it. Numbers, important numbers, any number that is below your business plan, that is the foundation of your business plan, do check it. Do research with one, with the other, etc. Different LLMs might give you different answers. Then you know that something is not wrong, something is not correct. There is something that I haven't said, one specific LLMs for socials. So for example, Grok, that I personally don't use and not so much into social. But if you want to know what is happening and what the people think, what is the, let's say, social aspects of things, Grok is a good one to see. Also, Perplexity has an option to research on social networks. So it goes and research on Reddit or other things. This is good, for example, to check your customer needs. But otherwise, you might get data that are made up, that are not correct. So please do check, especially if you are in legal, if you're in medical, this is very important, but I'm in engineering, this is also important because if something doesn't work at the end in my plant, then I'm still responsible for it. AI does the research, go and open the source, go and open the real document, the input document, and check the number, check the understanding of the AI. Sometimes you discover that you need to do this iteration that we are discussing 2-3 times to really verify the facts. Okay. AI accelerates the work, but you stay accountable for it. Okay. So don't get too carried away with the easiness of getting something out of AI. There is significant work after a first, second draft is done to really polish it and check it and verify it. We all use AI, the ones that do, and there is no point in saying that we don't. Also because there are some typical ways of writing of AI, some dashes, some specific things that anyway tell the people that have used AI that you have been using AI. So there is no point saying that. I think not saying that, not sharing that. So be open about it. I think is anyway how the world is going. you are at the beginning of your career, the next 50 years will be all about this. So as in the beginning of my career, there was one computer, started the search engines, started the emails, everybody started to use search engines. There was no shame on it. There is also no shame in using AI. Just be open about it, okay? Every company, any university, any institution have different rules, what you can use, which tool you can use, which information you can use for AI. You have to know the rules of your institution, or you have to make your own if you are a startup entrepreneur. Okay. Four things to remember as the final takeaways. AI does not replace you, your ethic, your values, your judgment, your soul. Okay. It just helps you to do better, faster, things that would take a bit longer time, maybe some experience can add that you don't have, etc., etc. You can automate the boring part, as we discussed, forms and many, let's say, trivial things can be automated. No problem with it. But the business idea, the values that you're bringing to the company, the values that you're bringing to your clients or to the social, to the public are your values. And this is the competitive advantage that you have. Okay. Yourself, your values, your skills, yourself. Okay. Learn how to prompt well, how to use well the context of AI. This is what is need to be learned. It's easy, reasonably easy if you learn medicine, if you learn law, if you learn engineering. You have done much more difficult things, so that's not a problem. Anyone can learn. Verify the facts, protect the data that you're using. But get a business idea, brainstorm with people, test it, start to build it, do something with it. I think you learn a lot by doing. You will see that tools are improving week by week, if not day by day. You will see that you will be able to do more and more. There is a learning curve. You can do it. I use it since 1.5 years, and now I would say that I feel quite confident on certain things. I still feel a beginner in others, as I said. Graphics, creative work, and marketing, I'm still very beginning. On document creation, on Excel, on financial modeling, stuff like that, I think I can use the instruments very well. And also teach the others. I mean, I help my wife, help my colleagues to do better things, to lose less time on boring tasks by using the learnings that I made, the experience that I made in this 1.5 years. So I encourage you to try, pick one tool, the one you prefer, or if you don't know any tool at the moment, use the next week to check them, to check the free ones, let's say, the free tiers of the main ones, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, we discussed. Try to do something with it. Try to do something for your business, for your research, for your study. Try to do something that is at the moment painful for you, boring, etc. And you think this could be done better, could be done faster. Okay, so try to put it in use. There is, let's say, no instruction manual. You have to experiment sometimes which tool works better, in which way, etc., etc. And then in 1 or 2 months, you will become a master of that. Okay. So last poll, which is the one thing that you will try next week. And after this poll, we'll be able to share our final remarks, final thanks, and feedback form again. your answers, please. Right. Okay, so Eriakim said that I'll use in academic research. All the best, Eriakim. Let us know how it goes. Okay, tool name and use, please say something specific in the chat. Say which tool you will use and what you will do with it. Copilot. Use it for reconciliation. Okay. Interesting. Thank you, Dennis. Gemini to search parallel ideas. Okay. Very nice. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis, ChatGPT for architectural render and research. Wow. Okay. Architectural render is nice. It's one of the most advanced uses that you can do of AI. Bravo. Bravo, Santo. Okay. Use ChatGPT to summarize the PDF about the budget in the ministry. Okay, that's very nice. Malia, maybe you get ideas how to save some budget or use budget differently. Nice. Or to apply for some budget or some funding for your business idea. Don't know. Sarah, Notebook LM to summarize article when doing research. Thank you. That's very nice. Gemini for nutritional assessment protocols. Wow. Okay. All the best, John. Thank you. Google Form for data collection. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I also use that once I need to do a training. I need to know the needs of the employees that will be trained. And I use Google Forms to do this thing, to collect their needs. And then I kind of made the training according to their needs, customized. Thank you, Jeremias. Okay. So this is basically the last slide. Thank you for all your participation. Been very nice to read about your business ideas and your research ideas. I remain available to you. You can reach me at my business email, but also at my LinkedIn. If you want to be connected, exchange ideas, ask for any other questions, I'm available for you guys, and I really wish you the best in your academic or business career. Now, Katyusha, if you want to share again the feedback form.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, I can do it. Okay. So the same invitation of the previous invitation. So fill the form, please, with your opinion about these 5 days of training. In the form ask you for your email address. Please state the email address correctly, because I will use the email address you will provide for sending you all the materials of the Business Skill Lab. I have really a lot of questions for you, Jacopo. We don't have time, so I hope to have in the future opportunity to discuss with you, because really I think the AI really important tools for my job. My fear is that going ahead in the future, the AI will replace my job, and so I I need that really, because, for example, one of my activities, the design, no, of a proposal for European coal. But just now, no, the European Commission received a lot of proposals, clearly um, made by the artificial intelligence, not only some parts, so for the relevance or the analysis of the status, but all the activities, all the deliverables. And now it's easy to understand that you have used the artificial intelligence, because not all the information are really connected. So there are many mistakes. I think in the future, when using our data, no, the artificial intelligence will improve the
Sure.
quality of the information provided, and also what they will be able to do. And I don't know. So we need to think also about this, no?
There's a beautiful phrase that I like to mention, that is, you will not be replaced by AI, but you will be replaced by somebody that knows how to use AI.
Yes, but
So
also
that's
the
why we all need to use
competitiveness.
AI to know how to use
Yes,
AI for
but
the right things.
absolutely. But if you think also my competitiveness, no, in the area, for example, just to give you an example, and then we will close now
Yeah.
the session. But for example, the previous year, now the European Commission for a specific call received around 400 proposals. It's a high number of proposals. In the last 2 years, thanks to the common use of artificial intelligence to fill the form, they received 1,500 proposals.
Yeah.
So the strategy of in some calls was to reduce the opportunities for the partner to submit more than 2 proposals each.
Mhm.
So there are not a way to limited the use of artificial intelligence, but the way is to give each partner a limit opportunity to limit the opportunity of the partner to submit proposals. So I agree totally with you, but so you can understand that for me was easier to be competitive against 300 proposals. So I can put my card now. I can say, okay, I will try to improve to submit a good quality proposal. But in the future, when my enemies will be 1,500, virtual project designer, it could be a little complicated. But so we need to see the future and also to create our strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want really to thank you. I want to thank Jacopo, Benedetta, and Flavio. Benedetta, you are here. If you want to open your camera, it's just a way, to say bye-bye to the others. I invite also the others. So if you want to open your camera, I can make a screenshot just to save an image of us. So thank you. I want to thank all the speakers. I want to thank all the people who participated in this training session. I want to thank my partners in NISHATI for the local support, because they promoted the business skill up among the students, professors, local professionals. We have now a long list of people in general interested in our learning opportunities. So I hope in the future to be able to invite you again with some new proposals. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice day, and see you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Thank you.
very
Next weekend
Bye.
too.
much.
To
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye,
Bye.
Glory. Bye-bye to the others. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.